Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. John Kelly, profiler here, and welcome. Welcome to part 5 of our very sad video series on who killed Libby German and Abby Williams. Today I want to discuss is law enforcement at a disadvantage, and I'll tell you why. We don't have a motive, and we're not sure if this was a random murder, just a murder of opportunity, somebody on their way out of town, could be a mentally ill person, or was this a sexual motive? I'm not entertaining at all the revenge theory at this point. I know a lot of people are out there, and you may be right. Only law enforcement knows for sure what the real motive was here. But I'm not entertaining the revenge motive at this point. I'm entertaining the motive was sexual. And a lot of people believe that. But again, only law enforcement knows for sure. And why I feel law enforcement might be at a disadvantage, let's not sugarcoat this, okay? This is a death penalty case. There's no question about it. And, whoever this guy is that's out there, he knows if he gets caught, he's done. This is one of the highest profile death penalty cases I've ever seen, and rightfully so, the murders of these two young girls. But the killer knows this as well, unless, like I said, he's all mentally ill and, is out in Never Land somewhere. He's so done on this case that, you might as well put a fork in him. And you know what? He knows this and he understands, like I said, and his family knows this. His family knows this. If he's a relative of anybody, they know if they put this guy out there, they give this guy up, he's going to be killed. He's going to get the death penalty. Unless there's some kind of unbelievable mitigating circumstances, and I'll tell you what, I don't see it. So, if you're a family member and you have an idea who this person might be, you're saying to yourself, well, my relative, or however he's related to me, he might be the guy, but you know what? Nobody's come out and said, this is a sexual motive. There's a sexual motive behind this. This guy's kind of perverted sexually, but to kill two girls, I don't know. And they haven't come forward and said there's a sexual motive here. So I'm not ready to turn him in yet, because what if I turned him in and he didn't do this? What if he's a close family member or even a distant relative, and I turned the guy in and he had nothing to do with this? Because he's never been violent, So what I want to bring out today is, with me focusing on it being a sexual motive, is that for a family member to think that this person would have to have some kind of past deviant sexual history. And I'm talking about something I mentioned last week of being a peeping Tom, looking through windows at women or girls in various stages of undress. A lot of these guys start off in their younger years stealing female garments, stealing female undergarments, like off the line, stealing them out of laundromats. They just have a fetish. Does this guy have a voyeurism fetish? He's a peeping Tom. Does he have an underwear panty fetish? I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows out there of anybody like this they'd like to call the police with. How about videoing women or young girls in various stages of undress. With all the technology out there and video equipment that's out there these days, who knows? But again, if he's a relative, I'm thinking twice before I'm turning him in, because there is no concrete motive put out there by law enforcement. And I'm not certainly second guessing law enforcement here. I'm sure they have their reasons for this. And you know what? They're the ones that are carrying the ball. Because, this case goes sideways, it's on them. If they get this guy and get him off the street, that's on them too. So really, they've got their hands full here. And there is no question about it. And already we're starting to see a lot of public comment coming back in kind of a negative way. And I don't like to see that, because we're not walking in their shoes. We don't know what they know, and we don't know what the reasons are behind what they are doing. But we do know that at the very least, the FBI is supportive here and playing a supportive role at least. Okay, so, let's take a breath, even though it may look a little strange to us. They're the ones that are running the case, not us. Has he ever exposed himself? Is there a family member that has exposed himself to females, to women, to young girls, who has a history of this? Just because somebody's done some of these perverted sexual things doesn't mean they have a legal history for doing it. He could have a history but never been arrested for it. Or he could have done it and was arrested, but it was pleaded down to a lesser offense. So that has to be taken into